Every night, if the sky is clear, a bright object slowly rises above the horizon and moves across the darkness. Humans have been watching it for tens of thousands of years, long before telescopes, satellites, or space missions existed. Ancient people noticed its changing shapes, its steady monthly cycle, and the soft light it casts across the Earth. Today we simply call it the moon, a word so common that most of us rarely stop to wonder where that name actually came from. Why is it called moon? The name didn't come from modern science, but from ancient languages and everyday speech. To understand why we still call it the moon, we need to look at language and early astronomy. Let's dive in, right here, on History of Simple Things. One of the most surprising facts about the moon's name is that it was never meant to be a unique name in the way we name planets today. In ancient times, people did not know that other planets also had moons. To early observers, there was only one object like it in the sky, the bright companion of Earth that changed shape every month. Because there was only one, it did not need a special name. It was simply the moon. The word functioned more like a description than a proper title. Only after the invention of telescopes in the early 1600s did astronomers discover that other planets had their own moons. When Galileo Galilei observed 4 satellites orbiting Jupiter in 1610, it suddenly became clear that Earth's moon was not unique. Yet by then the word moon had already been used for centuries. Instead of changing the name, astronomers kept it. Earth's satellite remained the moon, while other natural satellites were simply called moons as a general category. The English word moon comes from the Old English word mona. This term was used by the Anglo-Saxons over 1,000 years ago. The pronunciation has changed slightly over time, but the meaning has stayed the same. Old English itself was influenced by earlier Germanic languages where similar words existed. For example, Old High German used mano and Old Norse used mani. These words all referred to the same glowing object in the night sky. Linguists believe they all come from a shared ancient root in the Proto-Germanic language spoken roughly 2,000 years ago. That root word likely sounded something like meno. Even earlier, the word can be traced to Proto-Indo-European roots connected to measuring time. This connection exists because ancient people closely associated the moon with the passage of time. The moon's phases, from new moon to full moon and back again, formed a natural monthly cycle that early societies used to track seasons and organize calendars. The connection between the moon and time is actually built directly into language. The English word month shares the same linguistic origin as moon. Both words trace back to ancient terms related to measuring cycles. Long before mechanical clocks or written calendars, people observed that the moon's phases followed a regular pattern lasting about 29.5 days. This cycle became one of the earliest natural ways to measure time. Many ancient civilizations built their calendars around lunar cycles. Even today, several cultures still use lunar or lunisolar calendars. Because of this strong relationship, the moon was not just an object in the sky, it was a reliable clock. It marked the passage of weeks, helped predict seasons, and guided agricultural activities. This deep connection between the moon and the rhythm of time helped preserve its name across generations. The word survived because it was tied to one of humanity's oldest and most practical observations of nature. Different cultures had their own names for the moon. In Latin, it was luna, which is why we still use words like lunar eclipse. Ancient Greeks called it Selene, while Norse mythology referred to it as Mani. These names often reflected myths or divine figures connected to the moon. When modern science developed, Latin strongly influenced scientific language, which is why terms like lunar are still used today, even though everyday English kept the simpler word moon. The meaning of the word moon changed during the scientific revolution. Before the 17th century, people believed Earth had the only moon. But after telescopes revealed that planets like Jupiter and Saturn had their own satellites, astronomers began using moon as a general term for any natural satellite orbiting a planet. Today, scientists know that many planets have moons, yet Earth's moon is still often written with a capital M to show it refers to our specific satellite. Even with everything we know about the moon today, from its formation to its geology, its name has remained surprisingly simple. Many celestial objects have complex names from mythology or scientific systems, but the moon kept its original one because it was already deeply rooted in everyday language. By the time astronomers understood it as a planetary satellite, the word had been used for centuries. Changing it would have meant rewriting traditions, stories, and cultural references, so the name stayed while its meaning expanded. Today, when scientists talk about moons in general, they are still using a word that began as a simple description from ancient observers. The reason we call it the moon is largely a story of language and history. Long before telescopes, people observed its phases and used it to track time. The word comes from Old English and older Germanic languages connected to cycles and months. Later discoveries revealed that many planets have moons, but the original name remained. What started as a simple description eventually became both a proper name and a general term in astronomy. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.